Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another video. My name is Anthony, and in today's video I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about my condition, multiple sclerosis, and basically who I am, and give you guys an introduction that I haven't even given yet. I thought it'd be important to make this video because I haven't really introduced myself to anyone who watches my videos. So my name is Anthony and I am 23 years old. It's actually going to be my birthday in a couple of days. And my whole life I've been a skateboarder, I've been a filmmaker, and just an overall creative person who loves to try new things. I grew up in Sacramento, California. I moved to West Virginia for a good chunk of my life, maybe like 6-7 years. Then moved back to California, to San Francisco, and moved back to West Virginia for a year. And 1 year ago, just moved back to Sacramento, and I've been here since. So today I wanted to talk about basically my life since I moved back here and how it led me to start climbing and make this channel. So when I moved back here, it was a really hot summer, and once September came around I started not feeling so hot. Alright, so before I was diagnosed I was very healthy, I was lifting weights, I was in shape, I wasn't eating the best, but I also wasn't eating junk food and fast food every day. But you know, I sometimes would notice myself eating too much milk or cheese, sometimes too much bread or too much this or that, whatever. And while my health was pretty good, my mindset was always not really normal, I suppose. I always would tend to overthink and always would tend to be sad, or I don't know, just be sad even though I didn't have to be sad. Or when things made me sad, they made me really sad. And basically, right before I moved here, I went through a really bad depression and was taking medicine, but it didn't help because I wasn't suffering from a chemical imbalance. I was suffering from my brain, the neurons in my brain being eaten. So that didn't work. So I decided to move to California and later found out that the depression was associated with my condition. I always have loved nature and I've always loved being outdoors and just being away from the city and people and problems with society, just getting away from it all and disconnecting. But I always kind of just assumed I would always be alive and I would always have tomorrow and I would always be healthy and I would always be young, and there was always time to do things. And then in September I started not feeling well. I was going through some stress at this restaurant job I was working at, and I ended up waking up one day and my body, the right half of my body was numb, and my vision was getting blurry and my head was really hurting, like throbbing, like someone was stabbing me in the head. And basically I had to stop going to work because I just was feeling so bad. I didn't know what was going on. I knew something wasn't right though, because for years I've kind of been dealing with these weird symptoms. Like in 2016 when I was 21, I was having these cold sensations on my feet and my hands, mostly my feet at the time. It was very strange, like my feet were like ice, and I remember having to heat them up in the bathroom at work with hot water napkins from the dispenser. That was a one-time thing though. And then after that I was suffering with brain fog, forgetfulness, and a year after that my right hand started like feeling numb and dead. I think that was my first feeling of like the numbness, but it was just in this part of my hand right here. And I was telling my mom about it and it was freaking me out and I had no idea what was going on. Then in August, before the September attack, I felt like the numbness, but it was more like water like was being poured down my arm and my leg. And that was before it got really bad. So in September it was basically full-fledged. I was having what was typically referred to MS as a flare-up. Basically that just means that my body was being attacked and I was inflamed and really sick. So when I woke up with this really bad feeling, I thought I was just having the flu or something. I thought I was just sick and it would go away. The first day I woke up with it, it wasn't bad. It literally felt like I was getting the flu. Like my head was hurting like I have the flu. My body was like really weak. But next day it didn't get better. The next day after that it didn't get better, and it continued not getting better. It got worse. I eventually was having double vision and was losing the ability. Why are there all these people outside of my house right now? Okay, so let me backtrack because that really distracted me. Another thing I have problems with is short-term memory, so I'll get into that later. Oh yeah, I was talking about the vision. So my vision was doubled vertically, and that was like when I realized that something wasn't right. And then my face, the right side of my face started sagging, like drooping. I'll put a picture of it right here. And I connected that with the right side numbness, and I thought, okay, this is not the flu because my whole right body is numb. There's something wrong in my brain. I thought I was having a stroke, or I thought I had a brain tumor. It was very scary, and it took from September 9th until September 23rd to finally go to the hospital. I went on the 24th, and I was spending all that time just feeling really bad. But I finally went and told them my symptoms, and they basically knew I had MS right away, just from the symptoms and from a CAT scan. So they got me in an MRI, and the next day I saw the lesions and I saw the damage in my brain and basically what the MS has done. And that was very scary, really traumatic experience. And when I left the hospital, I was so weak, and I've never felt so weak in my life. I couldn't walk, I was stumbling, I was like literally falling. I would fall sometimes because my gait was really bad and my connection wasn't good. So I spent a month recovering from that. Right around a month after I was diagnosed, I went to a climbing gym with my little brother Arthur just for fun. I actually have some footage of that right here. I'll put that in for you guys. And that was fun because I just had a spontaneous idea to want to do that with him. And I guess in the back of my mind, I've always kind of wanted to climb, but I never really like had a reason to do it. I had skateboarding and other stuff, but now with this MS, I was scared that I would lose the ability to do things I've always wanted to try. So I thought, I'm gonna start climbing because, I mean, what's the worst that could happen? I get healthier and I fight this MS by staying active. So right around November, I actually got a gym membership and started climbing and meeting people and going outdoors, and I have never been more in shape in my life. I've never, even with the MS, I have not been more healthy. It's kind of counterintuitive really, because I still suffer with problems with my grip. I drop things all the time. I have the occasional numbness in my arms and on my legs. I'm actually feeling a little bit numb in my arm right now. I still stumble occasionally, but not often. But my two biggest symptoms are the short-term memory and depression. And I have trouble regulating my mood a lot. It's hard because I also just broke up with my girlfriend just a couple days ago. Those two things are hard because if I'm always forgetting stuff, it makes it hard to climb. I always forget my wallet, I always forget my keys, I'll forget climbing gear, I'll forget important things that could potentially save my life. And with the depression, I sometimes lose the ability to want to climb. Especially right now, I'm not really stoked on it right now. I know that I'll get better soon, but climbing has totally changed my life, and climbing has made it easier to cope with my disease, and it's made me feel like I can still be able to do the things I love for a little bit longer. The scary thing with MS is there's no predicting when the degeneration will really start to affect you, because I've only had one flare-up, and since that first flare-up I've already noticed some things aren't connecting as well as they used to, and the more flare-ups you have, the worse the damage is and the more degenerative it gets, and you eventually, things don't work anymore because there's nothing there to make it work. Your neural pathways are damaged, and some people lose the ability to walk, some people go blind, some people lose their memories, some people are numb all the time, some people feel pain, some people don't feel these things, the human brain is really strange, and some people have symptoms that are just otherworldly, and there's no way to know because everyone is different, and this disease affects everyone differently. And the hardest thing about it, which kind of plays with the depression, is that all of this is inside of my body. No one can see it. No one knows when I'm sick. No one knows when I'm sad or depressed, or can't remember, or blind, or losing my vision, or in pain. It makes it really hard, and I feel like not many people can relate to what I'm going through. It's scary not knowing when I'm going to flare up again, and when I'm going to not be able to walk, or climb, or do the things I love. It's really scary. Am I really about to cry right now? It's scary because this disease has made me feel really alone. I feel like not many people understand. I've met a lot of people who have relatives with MS, but I still have yet to meet someone with what I have. But I'm so lucky to have a mother that is always here for me and supports me and has helped me get back on my feet since this. And I'm so lucky to have climbing and friends and a purpose to fight this and not let it overtake me and bring me down. I know I'm gonna get through this and overcome it, and I make these videos because I'm so passionate about what I do, and I just want to share my passion with you guys. And this video, which is going to be a two-part video, I just wanted to share with you guys who I am and what I've been going through and why I started climbing. I started climbing to be healthy and to combat this disease, and it's turned into so much more than that. Now it's actually something that brings me joy and makes me feel strong and gives me confidence too, and helps me overcome many fears. So that's it, guys. That's my story of multiple sclerosis and why I started climbing. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope it's not too long. It felt a little long talking to the camera, but I definitely needed to talk about this. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm gonna release a part 2 about depression and climbing soon. I'm gonna film it right after this, but I'll release that a little later. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you learned something from it, and I hope that you guys take care and overcome any obstacles that you may have in your life. So thank you guys for watching, and hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.